evening. What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome if you are new. Hit subscribe if you are new. And how's it going, everyone? Have you had a good weekend? What have you been up to? I visited Buxton today and went to a little bit of a festival. It's called Eat in a Park. So we ate in a park. It was pretty good, actually. They had a lot of tribute acts on. It was for kids and that as well. But they had a Stone Roses tribute act on, and I was feeling it a little bit. It was good. So yeah, had a nice chill Sunday. Just got myself to the gym. For those who are following, we're doing a 30-day challenge of at least 15 minutes on the Stairmaster. Last night I did an hour. An hour's hard work, boys. An hour is hard work. But just 15 minutes today, and then did a little bit of bench press and shoulders. So I'll probably be back there like 10 a.m. tomorrow. State of Vegas says, evening Steve, went up to Derwent Valley this weekend. Nice. Brad says, what's up? Well, that was what was up. Daniel says, I went to something like that called Eat in a Garden. Nice. Love to see me on Sloppy Joe's with Dom. Who's Dom? James says, how good was Mazraoui? Shows that you don't have to spend big money to get a decent player. I'd go one further. We actually sold, if my maths is correct, we actually sold Wan-Bissaka for more than it cost us to get Mazraoui. So we upgraded Wan-Bissaka and got paid. Now, when the fuck did that happen to Manchester United? When did that happen to Manchester United? Matthew says, hey. Sad about Gomez. Angel Gomez had a horrific collision yesterday. He has been on social media and said he's happy days, he's all right, but fucking hell, that looked rough, didn't it? That looked like he got hit by a fucking train. Glad that he's okay, but it might take a minute for that to come back a little bit. Ash says, evening Steve, away for work in my hotel watching this. Love the show. Fantastic. Do you know what? Sometimes those are... I don't know if this is... How many of you lot... Tell me if you've got any military experience or no military experience, and do you sleep when you go somewhere new? Because I don't sleep. First night anywhere new, I ain't fucking sleeping. Shipper says, up the fucking top of the league paddock. It's only 4 games in, we're not getting carried away, but we're in the place we want to be. Now it's just about staying there, isn't it? T Mills says, Fabio tweeted that we have 2 more signings incoming. Is this true? I mean, I'm not the guy to ask if that's true or not. I think it's definitely possible. I'm pretty sure we're going to sign an 8. We might sign 2 8s. We might sign... Did someone just say, do the hand gesture that the Emperor did to indicate a gladiator could live? No, because we know that shuts the video off, and we're not going to do that, because otherwise it becomes a radio show. What was we saying? Can't remember what we were saying now. Luke says, 0 military experience, so I find it difficult to sleep in new places. Ali says, can't sleep when I change my bed. Wow, that's a weird one. Robert says, yeah, US Army, can't sleep in new places. James says, wake up at least 3 times when I'm away. Darren says, depends how much drink I have. Sleep like a baby in new clean bed. Yeah, I'm not talking about changing your bedding. I'm talking about if you go to a hotel. Like, I find, like, going to a hotel, I like it, you know. I like going to a new place. I like experiencing new shit like that. Sleep like a fucking crackhead the first night away, and never sleep anywhere properly for and then, you know, obviously we go and do these tours, you're only in places 2-3 nights at a time. My fucking, like, literally my Whoop chart is like 3 hours here. Like, from some of this is my own fault. I got up early, and we also moved around, and we also went out on the smash. But from Wednesday to Saturday of us going to Los Angeles, I slept 3.5 hours, 3 hours 36 minutes from Wednesday to fucking Saturday. I was in shit state, man. Ryan says, did I see the TalkSport debate? Now, for starters, no. Between Flex and other goons about Ten Hag, like as if his first season didn't happen and they weren't decimated by injury. TalkSport have got an anti-United agenda. It's as simple as that. I'm shocked people are shocked. What do I make of the games this weekend? I'm still catching up. Like, I was busy yesterday with Paddock. We kicked off at 3 o'clock, so I didn't catch any of those. Saw some of the first half of Villa and West Ham because it was on the telly in the bar. And I haven't. And I've seen what happened with City and Chelsea, but I haven't watched it. So tomorrow is going to be me catching up on all of those ones. Where's that one gone? Sharp White says, 7 years British Army, never struggled sleeping anywhere. Sometimes 8 hours on the floor in Brize Norton. Yeah, that's different. That's weird, though. Yeah, I mean, we can sleep anywhere, but like that first night staying somewhere, don't sleep. James would say, which 3 former players would I say have been would be class on the smash? Robbo, Best, and Keno. I don't think Keno's good on the smash, me. I reckon he's a fucking social hand grenade, which is not a bad thing. We all need a social hand grenade in our life, just for the entertainment factor. And Roy Keane's absolutely bringing that. But I don't reckon he's good company. I don't reckon Beckham's good company either. Especially a younger Beckham, like a pre-married Beckham. Because I can imagine it was just fucking birds all over the place. And you can't, like, pre-married, when you're going out, yes, you want a little bit of female attention and this, that, and the other. But, like, at my age now, I just want to fucking sit down and have a laugh with the lads. Can you imagine having David Beckham in your fucking group? You'd be like, why don't you go home? Because we can't have a fucking good night out here. Because the absolute carnage you're bringing with all these fucking women. Robbo, yeah. George Best, fucking file him in the same category as David Beckham, really, depending on the vintage George Best that you're bringing out. I haven't been on the smash with Vida, but I get the impression Vida's a good laugh on the piss. There's like a twinkle in his eye. Cantona, for sure. The conversation would be so fucking out there. Cantona needs to be the third wheel and Ed's gone, doesn't he? For sure. Yeah, Cantona's got to be on that list. What other players? I think Evra's interesting. And that could go either way with Evra as well, couldn't it? Because you could end up fucking battling in a kebab shop, or you could just end up doing some fucking madness. Yeah. 20 Legend says 100% sign Rabiot just for the depth. I think there'd be a bit of that going on, to be honest. Yeah, I would not be shocked to see Ugarte and Rabiot coming in. Or 2 of Ugarte, Rabiot, and Sanderberg. 2 of those 3, I think, would be quite interesting. David says, did I see Ruud van Nistelrooy and Van Persie also both scored on their debut against Fulham? Dutch hate the Cottagers. Wow. Dwight York. Dwight York's going to leave you, right? Dwight York is an absolute fucking shagger. So Dwight York is going to leave you. Dwight York, the first little bit of sniff he gets is gone, mate. So you're now flying solo. Sheringham and Cole at the same table. Awkward as fuck. Rooney. I nearly got it. I nearly got Rooney in the Euros. But that would have been a good one, I think. Because he's. I get the impression Rooney's about to chat and about getting on the smash. And that's what you want. You want people that are about to smash. Eldon says, 8 years US Navy, can't sleep anywhere, that's new. Just went to Yellowstone, spent the first night tossing and turning, slept like a baby the rest. Second gets a little bit better, but yeah, after that, it does start to get a little bit easier. Noel says, having a pint of Guinness and everyone talking about who would be great on the sesh, joined at the perfect time. And yeah, and also what you're having can dictate the way that goes as well. Roy says, Mazraoui said in his first United interview that he had a great relationship at Ajax with Anthony on and off the pitch. Could he be the key to making Anthony not shy? Well, it's worth the try, isn't it? Because he's a goner at the moment. Like, Anthony's like a complete afterthought. If you can get him back being good, then you're all right, aren't you? I've got a couple of super chats here. Let's let me get into these. One from Ali says, lost 30 pounds skipping rope. By far my favourite cardio work. Skip an hour a day. Fantastic, mate. Well done. I don't think my calves would handle skipping an hour a day. Who are my 2 ideal midfielders out there that will change our midfield? He says Rios or De Jong and Ugarte. I mean, yeah, but that's going to be spending. I don't know if we've got that sort of spending this summer. Ryan says, no more sesh for me. 5 years sober and rebuilding my life. Well played, mate. Yeah, I'm not going to say if you can't handle the sesh, because that feels like a disrespect. So I wouldn't say if you can't handle the sesh, but if the sesh becomes a negative impact in your life, if it's not adding to your life, then yeah, it's got to fucking go. Simple as that. I think I'm 4 week. I think 4 week yesterday, actually. I think I am 20. I think I might be 30 days without a Red Bull today, actually. I'll have to fucking check. Would it be 30 days? I think it might be 30 days, lads. Ant says, have never drunk. It's all about the convoy for me. Or convo. Convo. I'm making it means convo. Yeah. the thing is, like, look, I don't need a drink, but the drink definitely helps the conversation flow and people relax and get in the mix up with it. Jay says Sancho not even on the bench. Is there a deal being done? No, but I would expect some news about why Sancho wasn't in the squad on Friday, and it's fuck all to do with his hearing, or he's had an ear infection. I mean, maybe he had an ear infection, but maybe that was a convenient excuse. But it's not gone. It's all is not what was reported yet. But I do think, you know, the right kind of people who know things know what happened, and they will be reporting things probably in the coming days, I would imagine. Compartment says, is there a slim chance of a wildcard signing? Doesn't feel like it, does it? Doesn't feel like it. Stefan says, left out because of our interest. I don't know that it was our interest. Now, I do think that there is interest from United, but I also think that there's got to be some big sales for United to even contemplate that. But I think it really could happen, yeah. Maybe even a loan. Maybe even a loan. Pete Marshall says, sleep anywhere, me. Fair play. Brian says, probably more of an earache than an ear infection. I think he fucking is an earache. King Dino says, I heard Tony is going to Saudi. Ronaldo said that earlier, actually. He thinks Tony's going to Saudi. I think it's one of those, yeah. Is Amas injured? Not that I know of. QF Noifoy says, do I think that the press was better against Fulham because of Ahmad and Mount, or was it a structural change for that game? I think it was Ahmad and Mount. At times, Mount maybe went a touch too far with it. Like he got a little bit headless chicken at times. You shouldn't really see people chasing from 3 channels across. You know, if you want to be in the centre and press the half space, maybe even push over to the wing, that's fine. But when you start going like across 3 and 4 channels, you're like, yeah, you're not. Matthew Bolton says, do I feel better for not drinking Red Bull? Probably, yeah. I mean, I've dropped a stone. I'm not just doing no Red Bull, but I dropped a stone just in that 30 days. So that's one of those, which is always good. The one thing I have noticed is that I don't feel tired at 6 and 7 o'clock at night. And I think when you drink Red Bull, obviously there's a lot of sugar and there's obviously a lot of caffeine that you're consuming. And I think you're getting mad little crashes and shit with that. And I don't get those now. So at the moment, like, I've got this. So literally just, it's called Optimized by Combat Fuel. And it's like a focus sort of drink. It's got a little bit of caffeine in it. It's about a third as much caffeine as was in the 355ml Red Bulls. So I can have 3 of them for the amount of caffeine that was in one Red Bull. And I'm probably having about 3 or 4 of these drinks a day, but they're in a litre of water. And it's 5 grams, there's 0 sugar, and there's like some nootropics and vitamins in there and a little bit of caffeine. So I'm thinking way better for me. I don't get that crash. I'm not having that sort of sugar. And I think a combination of flipping it to something else. Now, what's important is I like the taste of Red Bull, which is a weird taste, admittedly, right? But I think it's the entire sort of user experience of the Red Bull, that crispy, ice-cold Red Bull. It's refreshing. So what I've tried to do is, as I'm having this shit, I'm in a metal bottle. I've not always had it in a metal bottle. I've got like Nalgene bottles as well. But when I have it in this metal bottle, or all of them actually, I stick ice in. And that sort of hits me with the sort of refreshingness and probably a touch of the caffeine that I've been getting out of the Red Bull. So I haven't even wanted one. So 30 days has been actually a genuine piece of piss to sort of do. So it's one of those. Notch says, cut out a ton of caffeine and sugar and my sleep is more beneficial. That's good. I always slept quite well, actually. Or recently, I've always slept quite well. For years, I didn't fucking sleep. Tyler says, I cut out heavy starches, pasta, potatoes, and rice. No, it seems extreme, but life's pretty good, and I'm pretty lean for 40-year-old bloke. Well played, our kid. Ashman said, would I 100% sell McTominay? Yes, because I don't know how he works. He doesn't offer a lot to us, and I think Xerxes would offer that better, more attacking option off the bench. Ryan says, I don't do Red Bull either now. Stopped them about 3 years. It was more Monsters for me. Well, Monsters was my gateway to Red Bull. The orange Monster, and then they stopped selling it, and I flipped over to Red Bull. Brian says, can't see Tony enjoying life in Saudi. Gambling is illegal. Surely he's got to give the gambling up now. He can't carry on, surely, gambling. Like, that's got to be off the table for him now, surely. Ansem says, do leg day twice a week and increase your cardio time weekly. Mate, I do leg day pretty much every time I go to the gym, pretty much, probably 4 times a week, right? And I'm probably doing about 4 hours of cardio a week. I'm okay at the moment. Thoughts on Palestri going to Panathinaikos? He's not United level, so I'm not bothered. It is what it is. I don't think he's going to activate any big transfers for us. Ant says, what workouts am I doing? Dropped almost 3 stone in 12 weeks, just doing half hour of HIIT 5 times a week. So I try and do mobility every morning. I'm not religious with it, and I do forget some mornings, but I do try and do mobility every morning because my ankles and calves are just seized up and locked up after years of not doing that, and the compartment syndrome, and they need the work. I follow the Stoic Conditioning app, so there's various things on there. There's swimming on there, there's ruck marches or tabs on there, and there's 3 sessions of gym a week and some running intervals. So it's that plus this week, at the moment, this sort of 30 days, I'm sort of making sure that I'm doing at least 15 minutes on the Stairmaster, and that's the game really. But yeah, it's pretty much that. Pretty much following the UKSF selection. Not that I'm doing UKSF selection. I just think that particular training program is the sort of program that I enjoy doing, and it does actually cover like a broad breadth of fitness that I quite like doing. So I'm doing that one for that reason, really. I'm obviously not fucking attempting Special Forces selection. Kirk says, random question, but who's the one signing United signed that I was buzzing about, but it never worked out for them at United? Fucking Pogba, Falcao, Varane, Kagawa, fucking loads of them. Yeah, fucking loads of them. Steve, do I think all our centre halves are forced to be intense every game and that's why they get injured? No. Sancho maybe as well. I might be in that mix as well. Harry says, have I ever had Red Bull in Thailand? It's the OG. It's medicinal strength, absolute toxic way to keep you up for days. No, I've not actually. I've never been to Thailand actually. The Grim Commoner says, Palestra is a good backup to Diallo, and he only had a bad game against City because he was played out of position at right back instead of his usual right wing. I disagree. I think he's just not a good player. I just think even when you saw his highlights, before we signed him, he just fucking wasn't. Isaac says, what's my compartment syndrome story? My wife got acute compartment syndrome during childbirth and had a tibialis anterior removed. Fucking hell. Jesus. Is that... So what the fuck is a tibialis anterior, by the way? Is that a muscle? I'm going to have to Google what the fuck that is. 1 second. So is that the muscle that runs down the front of the shin? Eesh. Fucking hell. How the fuck does she walk? How the fuck does she control going downhill? That's insane. So acute compartment syndrome, they shouldn't be called the same thing, right? Because they're clearly not the same thing. They actually genuinely, I know I'm not a doctor, obviously, if you're getting your medical advice from me, well, you fucked up a long time ago, but they're not the same thing. So acute compartment syndrome is when it's had a bang. And when it has a bang, this is my really fucking rudimentary explanation of this, but anyone who knows, tell me how right I am. Basically, you have a bang on a muscle, and muscles are in sort of sacs. Sort of like, think of them as like a little bit like a waterproof bag. I should have fucking bags down here. I can't see one. Think of them in like a waterproof bag. Now, most people's muscles are in sort of like NFL jersey style bags where they're porous and blood can flow in and out of the muscles and that. When you get acute compartment syndrome, essentially it fills up and swells up. And for whatever the reason, there's a blockage and it can't get out. And it's a medical emergency when you get acute compartment syndrome that they have to operate with an absolute fucking quickness, because if they don't, that shit's going to really fucking damage you. Now, the compartment syndrome I had was chronic compartment syndrome, which is not a medical emergency. It's a medical embuggerance, which, when you run, basically my calves were filling up with blood to the point where I could no longer flex my foot. So you end up running with like you've got a cast on almost out of muscle and bone, muscle and tissue, just stopping that foot flexion. Now you need that foot flexion to sort of like dampen the impact of the runs and stuff. And if you don't do that, what happens is you get loads of calf tears, and hence all of the calf tears that I'm still sort of dealing with a little bit. So I had an operation. I had a bilateral fasciotomy where they open up my calves and then they sliced off the fascia, off the muscle, and just fucking left it to it. Now, the problem is over the next 10, 15 years, that fascia, that lining that was surrounding my calf muscle, will slip off and it will look like I've got like a saggy sock around my ankle over the next 10, 15 years. And I can kind of already see it a little bit, still on the calf, but above where your sock line would be. So I can see that being really gross when I'm like 80, but I'll just wear fucking socks rather than going barefoot and it'll be fine. Right, there's a right load of super chats I've missed here. So Isaac says, you got it spot on. She had an emergency fasciotomy. Muscle was dead. Jesus. Curious about the chronic though. I hadn't heard of it until she got it. What's mad is there was a physio that I knew that said, I think you've got compartment syndrome. And he was fucking absolutely correct. And he'd never even met me in person. It was a guy that diagnosed me online. And he was 100% correct. Nick says, catching the game versus City in September from Dallas and want the most expensive United experience. What should I check out while I'm in Manchester? For me, the most expensive authentic experience for United would be go to Greg's, go to Buzz Rocks for a bit of Caribbean food, and get a pint in fucking Trafford or something like that. That'd be happy days. And get the tram there. The Invisible Kev says, the Sloppy Joe's podcast is a good laugh. You have to meet Dom. Who the fuck is Dom? Omar with a super chat there says, I know Tony Deal is seemingly out, but I think a Falcao-esque signing for him might happen. We still need firepower up front, in my opinion, but think Ugarte in a backup centre mid or left back will likely be the final ins this window. I think you're probably right, mate. Yeah, if they manage to deal with centre mid and just rolled with what we are at left back potentially, and then brought in Tony as well. Like, I don't know if I've ever seen a window as impressive. That's insane, isn't it? James Berry says, that was some screamer Paddock scored yesterday, Steve. Should I show you? Should I put it on? I think it's on my laptop. Let's see if this works.
We might get the occasional blip on the stream from the Veo camera specifically. As the corner comes in short, that was poor. Nodded first man. Shot on goal. Oh!
In the fucking back of the net.
Wow!
Outrageous. Pretty good goal, that, wasn't it? Outrageous goal. Fair play. Kenny Allison with a super chat says 282 kilometres out of 400 kilometres walked complete for the month. Also, Paddock member today. Keep up the good work. Fantastic, mate. Welcome to the club. Make sure you get on the forum. Make sure you get on the Telegram group as well. There's a great bunch of people in the mixer in there as well, so make sure you get it in. Frilla says reload it. Right, I'll reload it. I'm going to take the sound off because it's a bit loud on the sound, isn't it? Sorry, Liam. There you see. Corner comes in. Shit header out. Zach's just fucking walloped one. I don't think he's ever hit a ball as well in his fucking life. Unbelievable goal. Happy days. We needed that as well because we was on top but couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. But he put the ball in the back of the net there. Nice. Well played. Life Riley says goal of the season. If it's not nominated, we've scored some fucking ridiculous goals, haven't we? Absolutely ridiculous ones. What do I think Cobby should work on? Pace. Yeah, probably like that intensity off the ball a little bit. Maybe he doesn't even need it. But yeah, if anything off the top of my head, it'd be that, I reckon. Yeah, Scholes versus Villa. That's literally all I could think of watching it. It's Scholes versus Villa, isn't it? It's the same technique. I think it's even the same situation where a defender's headed it out badly. Andrew says, I Paddock playing at home last week in October, thinking of coming down from Aberdeen to watch. So our league are ultimately frustrating because I've got the next two, I think I've got next week's. No, I've got the next 2 weeks, then I've got a week off, and then I've got a cup game. They're all away. Why they only release us a month at a time, I don't fucking know. It's so frustrating. And I would love to be able to plan stuff with supporters clubs and try and get people down on that, but they don't really help us out. So you'll just have to keep your eyes on socials. When we get them, we will tell people, but at the moment, they're only giving us a couple of weeks in advance, which is a fucking nightmare for planning. It really is. Our Paddock part of the English league structure. Yeah, if I have 12 promotions, I am in the Premier League. Now, I won't get 12 promotions, but theoretically, 12 promotions and we're in the Premier League. Do we do coaching with the players going back over the video? Yes, we do 30 minutes every Tuesday where we look at the tape from the previous game. We look at like 5 or 6 things that either went right and went wrong or a bit of both. In hindsight, maybe should have kept Garner. Absolutely should have kept Garner, for sure. Xerxes or Hoyland or both. Now, it would be both at the right time. I think that's what we're building is a tactically flexible squad, I hope. I may not be the one. Tyler says, quit when you get 9 promotions, don't get greedy. I'll quit way before then. Seth says, 12 doesn't sound that hard, but in practice it's near impossible, innit? Well, how many have they had? I think they've had... Dorking have had 17 promotions in like 22 or 25 years or some shit like that. Like, it's outrageous. They started like 7 levels lower than we did, and obviously now they're now National League South. They did get to National League proper, but they got relegated last season. I think they got relegated last season. Ginge says 6 years area firefighter asleep anywhere, anytime, but usually fall asleep while listening to these podcasts or Paddock every night, catching up the day later. Fair enough. The Miles Lewis show says, do we need Tony? I think we need more goals in the team. Yeah, I can see midfield getting fixed and working, and I can see the defense working, but you do need goals. They're really important. Does that mean Paddock are above or below Bury FC? We are below Bury FC. They are 4 leagues higher than us. There might be 5. 4 or 5 leagues higher than us. Can someone tell us what the deal is with Shaw? I think he's just taking a piss right now, says Hendricks. I don't know. He's clearly injury prone, isn't he? This chat's been really strange. It's when I go to hover over one of the messages, they all move. I'm going to try and read them on here. Are Xerxes and Tony similar players? No. You'd have 3 different profiles of strikers if you brought them in, which is interesting, but then I don't know how you keep them all happy and fit at the same time, unless they're just anticipating injuries. So Digby Chicken Caesar says, Sancho must be off this week, right? Well, word on the street is there's like 4 players that they're trying to sell, and like I said, I said it this morning on the video, I'm not breaking any news here. You know, they're trying to get rid of Casemiro, Sancho, McTominay, and Eriksen. Now, McTominay's agreed terms with Napoli, but Napoli ain't got any fucking money unless they sell Osimhen. So Fulham could come back in the mixer for McTominay, but I guess we will see. Matthew Coward says, seen that fella putting the old sponsors on the original kits with Opel, Bayern, Sony, Juventus. Made a mess in my pants seeing the new kit with Sharp Electronic sponsor. Yeah, I might do that. I might go get that. I might do exactly that. Where are Paddock now on the list of follow teams in the UK? Have we broke into the top 40? Well, we've not had a significant update. What was that website called? Can someone bang it in the Telegram group for me? Because it was in there and I can't remember what it's called now. So can someone stick it in the Paddock Telegram group for me and let's have a look where we were. I can't remember what it was called. It was like English Football YouTube subscribers or something. I can't remember what the name of the site was. Was it called like Football with like 3 O's or something? Was the name of the website or something? I can't remember the name of that website. Someone in the Telegram group I know knows what that website is. We'll find it, I'm sure. What's the chance of a hike with me? I'll be honest with you, I'd like to just hike alone. It's my escape, so yeah. With everyone fit, who starts at centre half? Martinez and Delic. So Digby says, I need to see this shirt with Sharp on it. Yep, I'm going to do it with mine, so we will see. Stephen says, Bry will find it. I'm certain he'll find it. Am I the only person worried about a backup for Bruno? Because Mount will never create as many chances. Now, I think someone said earlier, actually, like, where does Mount get into the starting 11 with United? And genuinely, I actually think you need 13, 14, 15 starting 11 players. And I know that sounds mad. How do you have 15 starting 11 players? Well, I think you have to select the right tool for the right job. And I also think that it's very important that you have cover, because how many times is your starting 11 totally fit and totally the right tool for the right job? So I think having Xerxes and having Mount, and potentially having maybe one more defender in the mix, like three fullbacks for 2 places, I think really adds to something. I think you need 14, 15 starting 11 players. I know that's like a bit of an oxymoron, but I know what I mean in my head. I think you need that many. And then you need like people who are definite squad players. You know, some people who you go, like Toby Collier, he's not sitting there going, oh, why am I not fucking starting our kid? Like, he's not thinking that. So it's one of them, innit? We had 17, 18 starters under Fergie at times. Yeah, you could argue that, yeah. You could, yeah. You know, the likes of Phil Neville and like, Nicky Butt, Henning Berg, Sheringham Solskjaer, Blomqvist, you know, them guys, when they played, they weren't. You had the trust of them to play, didn't you? You know what I mean? Stephen Harris, we used to have Nicky Butt as a backup. Do you know what I mean? And Nicky Butt was unbelievable. Jay says, my father was a para, and while serving, he smoked 30, 40 cigarettes a day and drank alcohol for fun. He said many in special forces were the same. Because a lot of it's mentality. And the problem is, yeah, they might not necessarily be healthy, but they can get... I mean, look at footballers, right? You can still perform to a high level. You probably can't do it over years and years and years and years. Andrew says, you need a squad that can give you 40 games a season when needed. Like, look at what Fergie said to Phil Neville when he was trying to leave, and he was like, oh, I'm worried about my playing time. And he's like, well, with all the cups United are in, you get 35 to 40 games. That's all you'll get at like Everton or whatever if you go. Darren says, Nicky Butt would have walked into any other team at that time. Nicky Butt would be perfect for us right now. Disco Stew says, new giant Paddock flag unveiled yesterday, funded by members from across the world. You're not fucking wrong about it's giant. It's absolutely fucking massive. Jared says, any chances of a Howson versus Souness podcast, similarly AFTV versus Neville? Well, the reason that Neville worked because Neville's humble to a fault. You know, he downplays himself to a fault, whereas Graham Souness, you seen when he was talking about Pogba, he's like, oh, put your fucking medals on the table, I've got a big fucking table, this, that, and everything. You just think he wouldn't be able to admit that his assessment of certain people has been wrong, and he would just resort to be like, I fucking played the game, you've not played the game, and then you've got no conversation to have then, have you? Have I ever been to Turkey? Yeah, but I didn't get off the plane. Donald says, I did a 48-hour fast a few weeks ago. Rated it, to be honest. Was going for 72 hours, but was working and needed to be fully with it for my job. Jesus. David says, I'm in the flavoured fizzy waters. It's cut down my frackings for energy drinks and cans of pop. Surprisingly low amount of sugar in them. Sugar's a bitch in it. Like, we don't really need it at all. Neil says, I did 13 years and have problems first night in different beds. Well, it's fucked, isn't it? Do I think Harry says, do I think we might play 3 at the back with Euro being the pacey recover player out of the 3? Maybe. And like you see that we're building up in a 3-1-6 or a 3-2-5, right? Sometimes that could mean actually playing that formation, and sometimes it can mean just transitioning to that formation. It's one of them, innit? Taylor says, if we draw Fenerbahce in the Europa League, I'll be more than glad to host you in Istanbul. I haven't got the time to do Euro aways, mate, as much as I would love to do them. I just haven't got them. Mike MUFC says, wild camping in Cornwall this week. I am jealous. See, that's fucking legend, it. There's some parts of Britain that are just fucking sensational for it. I did a camp with Blake and the dog. Dog's in here just by my feet here now. Dog's 15 in 2 weeks. What date are we on? Less than. About 2 weeks. 13 days. And we only took him to the beach a couple of times. And I think I'd love to see him at the beach and just enjoy himself, because he does enjoy it. And I wanted to take him somewhere where we could get him on the beach. So I'm thinking of North Wales, go camping, have the dog in a tent, and go let him fuck about on the beach a little bit before he, before he chews his last bone, shall we say? Because he was an old dog, but he's never been in a tent before. So I just went one, quite close, and got him in the tent with me and Blake, and he was good actually. He was nice. It was good, and he was a good boy. So I think we can trust him now on somewhere a bit further afield, like a bit of a longer drive, and see what it's like. Speak123 with a super chat says, what did I think of Ten Hag playing very wide wingers with 2 almost 10s occupying the middle sometimes against Fulham, and turning into 8s without the ball? Very Cruyff, can see a plan being laid. That's the 3-1-6 or the 3-2-5 build-up that we've been talking about. I do a similar thing, and I know people will be like, well, no, you don't, because it's level fucking 13, but we do. We try and play the same sort of thing at Paddock. Video frozen. It's not on my end. No, I don't think so. We try and do a similar sort of thing with Paddock, where we try and dominate the ball in that sense. Giving you 5 players to deal with the attacking and 5 players to recycle the ball and deal with the counter-attacks. And it's good. What kind of dog do I have? I have an arsehole dog. I have a little skinny staffy called Diesel. A little black staffy called Diesel. Have I seen the hot iron trick for raising bed bugs out of a mattress? Will put me off different beds for life. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Jared says, don't miss a podcast. What do I know about Berg that we don't? Similar to Euro transfer, felt like we knew more than us. I don't know anything about whether Berg's happening or not. Euro, yes, I did know a little bit, but I don't know anything about what's going on with Berg. Brett says, great to catch you live. I'm in Sydney and loving the work. Thank you, our kid. Arsenal dog? No, arsehole dog. Beef Bully says, Stephen, be real. How many world-class players do we have? I don't know. What's world-class anymore, really? I don't know. Not enough. Hushy Love says, wish we'd go for Stack rather than hagging over expensive Ugarte. Keith says, would love a few trophies this season, mainly for us fans to enjoy, but mainly to see TalkSport cry. Paddock away kits sent out this week. I don't know when the fan ones arrive. I believe the first team ones are with us tomorrow. So the first team ones should be there tomorrow. So actually that's nice, because I think Haydock play in red. I think. Or the last time we played them, they played in red, although the previous time they played in blue. Which means that we'll probably be getting an airing out of the green and gold kit this weekend. In the match this weekend, but I don't know when the fans one arrive, so we will post them out. Listen, as soon as they come in, Dave, Claire and Janine get them posted out rapid. Tyler says, supper time, cheers, have a good rest of your evening. In a bit, our kid. Mike's wife got me the Paddock red hoodie. It's absolute beauty. Yeah, there'll be all sorts of different fan wear coming out as well. There was some conversation in the Telegram group yesterday, which if you remember and you're not in it, you are genuinely, you're missing out. People were asking about bucket hats and stuff like that. As soon as we've dealt with all the kits, obviously we've got 3 mega kits this season. As soon as we get them all out of the way, and because then we can handle like the 3-4 orders a day that come in, we can handle that. But when it's hundreds, it's a absolute clusterfuck getting them all out. There isn't a fulfillment centre. It's literally my wife, Dave Pritt, and a lady called Claire that does the welfare for the club. Like, that's it. That's the people that are posting your shit out, and it takes time. We are not Amazon, so it's a minute. But yeah, as soon as all those are out, we'll turn our hand to doing different fanwear merch, t-shirts, all that sort of shizzle. Brian says, found the link on YouTube. It's in the Telegram group, but the link doesn't work anymore. Oh, that's a shame. Janine says, was due on the 15th, but then we made an amendment and pushed the arrival back a bit with green and gold. Okay, so it'd be a minute. Notch says, big up Claire. Disco Stew says, Claire's a legend. Bradley says, think this Scott deal to Fulham is important not only for funds going forward in the transfer window, but also that we've needed one of these deals to break through for us to sell for a decent amount. I kind of agree. Yep. Jay says, I'm worried Sancho staying will cause problems with the squad, such a bad influence for young players. Yeah, I think it's quite important that United get him gone, but I don't know who's going to fucking want to pay real money for him. Out of the Paddock lads, which one would I choose to help me survive on a desert island? Probably Vic, because he does as he's told and he's fucking tiny, so he's not going to eat a lot. Mike says Perranporth Beach, few pints at the watering hole. I like Perranporth Beach, actually. I think we just saw the dog's ears popping up there. He's just getting off in the corner. Do I still maintain my stance on United having one legend? If I've had a couple of beers, I will, yeah. And for those who don't know, that's Sir Bobby Charlton. Because that's what I want that fucking barrier to be. The word legend is flung around far too fucking often. You know what I mean? People get called a legend who didn't even actually play for the fucking club. What's all that about? It's not right, is it? How's that just come up again? So Sir Bobby Charlton should be the only legend. The guy won the league, the fucking World Cup as a United player, the Ballon d'Or, the European Cup. You tell me someone who's done that, and I'll reconsider my shit. But when you've got 47 legends, well, there can be a lot of people who are icons of the club. But yeah, it's one of them, innit? I softened my thoughts on it, but yeah. James says, have I missed a link to order green and gold and or a black one? The green and gold one did go out for what's he doing? He's trying to hide his bone. That's what he's doing. I can see where you're putting it. Don't put it there. I can see it. Moving it now. The green and gold one went up for a few days over a month ago. The black one hasn't had anything happen with it just yet. We're going to get the green and gold one out of the way first. Andrew says, working theory, Casemiro, first season, mint, second season, discovered Greg's, third season, banned from Greg's, back to mint. It could happen. Favourite niche footballer for United of all time? What do you mean by niche? Are you talking like one that I rate that a lot of people don't? Because then, I don't know, like it could be anyone really. Like Ronnie Johnson, not really given the credit he deserves. I don't think Yap Stam gets the fucking credit he deserves because he was here so little. Do I see Rude becoming a successor for Ten Hag? Yeah, and am I going to get excited because he's a fucking club legend who scored some big fucking goals for us, going to take over as a manager? You know, we've been here, the nice things he says. Am I going to get all excited for that again? You're fucking absolutely right, I am. Did my dad ever tell you George Best story? No, my granddad might have done. No, not so much my dad. My dad was Dennis Law. That was who he liked. Disco Shoe says, always like Irons, mate. Yeah, that's fucking can't really like him after. He's actually trying to ride it down there now. I can see where you're hiding that bone. Yeah, never really. After he wanted to go to Liverpool, nah. Janine says, yes, you'll have another chance to order green and gold. Yeah, so green and gold will be going on general sale once we get all of the ones in and we make sure we fulfill all of those who've done a pre-order. Then they will go on general sale. So you'll be able to get your hands on one. We've ordered enough. Notch says, your daddy's so Stan was chatting to him. Love chatting to him. Yeah, I saw you two chatting for quite a bit yesterday. He was chatting to quite a lot of people yesterday. I have no fucking clue who half of the people was, apart from yourself, obviously. Donald says, Pembury Sands in Wales is where they test military munitions and viewable by the public, I believe, jets, tanks, helis, etc. I was known to be a bit of a fucking knob in training at times and just going off doing my own thing, which was not safe. And I wandered onto a Salisbury Plain, just doing a bit of a fucking tab and a bit of a run. And I heard a big fucking kaboom and realised I was in the middle of not in the middle. I was in a tank lane as they was doing some live firing. I presume live firing at least anyway, with some of the challengers. Because the likes of Bovington and places like that are very fucking close by to Salisbury Plain. And I don't think it was landing anywhere near me. And if they're firing tank stuff, it's going kilometres, isn't it? But yeah, I accidentally wandered onto a fucking live range, which is a bit of a nightmare. I got myself off there sharpish. It's the importance of knowing training areas and the permissions to be on them rather than just fucking kicking about and getting in there. Who's my favourite all-time United player? Cantona. Keith says, worst pundit, Graham Souness or Tim Sherwood? Souness is hateful. Deliberately hateful. I actually think Souness at times has got some insight. Tim Sherwood's just a fucking melon, isn't he? Who's the biggest player that we missed out on? Gaza, Ronaldinho, or Bale? I mean, they would all have been sensational Manchester United players, wouldn't they? Wouldn't they? Batistuta. Well, yeah, I spoke to Martin Edwards about him, and it was basically the wages he wanted. Like, his wages was already going to break the his wages was going to break the structure at United by I think it was more than double what the highest earner was on. And then he went, oh, that's after tax, by the way, what he wanted. And you're like, yeah, that's not happening. Who would I rather stand and chat to for an hour, Jennus or Owen? Fucking Jennus, right? I've given Jennus shit, right? But I've been out on the piss with Jennus a handful of times, and he's a fucking top bloke. Like, I have a really fucking good time with Jermaine Jennus, actually. I can text him. I'll text him right now and fucking say, what's happening? Jennus is a fucking really, really good lad on the piss. And actually, way more fun than he is as a pundit. And he's pretty chill about being told that people don't fucking rate him as a pundit as well. But yeah, he's fucking brilliant. Like, in Berlin, we had a really, really good day, like a dead fucking chilled day on the piss. Me, Rio, Jennus, Jake Rio's agent, and Owen Hargreaves. It was a fucking ledge of a day. Brian says he can't teach you golf though. Nah. Yeah, for those who don't know, we had him showing me and Ash how to play golf at the driving range. But you know, even Owen Hargreaves, not the world's greatest pundit, but fucking absolute lad on the smash. Really enjoyed hanging out with him. Have you ever met Keown? No, I've not. Ash says he's all right though. Ant says, I've heard Hargreaves is a top lad. Yeah, the toppest of top lads, to be fair. Ash says Keown's all right, which I'm not buying. CO Tully says, travelled 8 hours for a game on Friday and made the teams walking out with 5 seconds to spare. Well played. Was Hargreaves injured? No, he was fit. He was fit on his piss. JOR says, Sanderberg wasn't in the Burnley squad yesterday. Does that mean anything? Don't know. Luca Brazzi says, would have loved Roberto Baggio at his prime. Yeah. Ed says, Gaza on the nights out in Money with the likes of Chucky, Giggs, Sharp and Ince would have been chaos. Chucky's a fucking ledge as well for just hanging out and just getting in the mixer. The problem with Chucky is I'm deaf and Chucky speaks real low like this, and it's obviously heavily accent. When he's listening sometimes, he doesn't really have any kind of inflection to where he's speaking. So was that a question or not? I don't know if he's talking to me or talking to somebody else or what. I don't know. Really fucking hard work. Yeah. Could Fergie have stomped the party side out of Gaza and Ronaldinho? No, I don't think so. He'd ended up selling them. Have I seen the bar in LA that showed the United game as if it was on Old Trafford on a huge screen? Yeah, I got sent that a little bit, but that was really fucking cool. Looked good, didn't it? What banged more, United winning, Paddock winning, or an Ashley Young red card? What banged what in which way? I obviously take Paddock winning fucking personally, and during the at the post yesterday, I was fucking raging because I thought he'd gone in. And I was absolutely fucking raging. United, I enjoy, and it's a pastime, and I like analysing it, and I like hanging out with my dad and going to the games. But with Paddock, it feels professional. It's not obviously not professional, but it's like there's a professional pride to it, and I'm fucking livid if we don't win. I'm still mad that we drew the first game of the season. I was in fucking Los Angeles when it happened. So I'm like, oh, fucking yeah. What's the best five-a-side team I could create out of the contacts in my phone? I could do Rio, Messi, Scholes. I've got a keeper. Not got Alex Stepney. Could we take a young Stepney? And I've got Dwight York. He could go up front. Yeah, Dwight York. So let's go Rio, Messi, York, Scholes, Stepney. Pretty fucking good five-a-side team, that, innit? Frilla says, have you got Messi's number and not CR7's? So, yeah, I've texted him. He replied saying, who the fuck is this? And then I tried to ring him, and I think I'm probably blocked now. So an agent friend of mine that used to look after Juan Sebastian Veron was added to a group on Christmas Day by Juan Sebastian Veron, who couldn't be asked texting everyone, and he just added his entire phone book to a WhatsApp group and went, Merry Christmas. So my agent friend, being an agent, just decided to absolutely lift every single fucking number that he could find, and he got like original Ronaldo and all sorts of people, and he was like, well, there's Messi's, just fucking get on the end of that. For those who've been around long enough, we rang Messi on one of these. We just fucking rang him, and obviously he didn't answer, but we tried. Yeah. So, yeah, there was obviously a shitload of Argentinians, but obviously there was like United people in there and everything like that. It's one of them. What's the message sending me here? I not missed it. I got it. Ricky with a super chat says, imagine Rooney came around 5 years early. How high is stock and rep now? I know he's a legend already, but yeah, if Rooney had been part of the team that managed to win the treble, and he'd have probably won a Ballon d'Or. Michael Owen won a fucking Ballon d'Or in 2001 or 2002. That would have been Rooney's. And I think yeah, he'd have probably picked up a Ballon d'Or or two in that time. I just saw a message there saying, shamelessly, send him a message in Spanish. That's what I did. Come on, man. I strategized the shit out of that shit. Let me find exactly what I sent him. What's Quien sos mean? It just means who the fuck's this? Let me Google that. I think it just means who's this? Yeah, who are you? See if this shows up. That was on the 25th of Feb 2017. Might not be the same number now. Romario or R9? R9, but Romario doesn't really get his flowers. Hydro says Rooney is the best player I've ever seen, and the lad was a beast. AJ Wright says, who's the most famous non-football related person I've met? Ryan Reynolds, pretty famous. Was on the piss with Ed Sheeran with Rio for about 3 hours during the Euros. Fighters. Call Veron and ask him Lazio, United or Chelsea. I don't have Veron's number. I don't know Veron. Prime Seedorf or Prime Scholes. Ooh, just out of love, Paul Scholes, but what a fucking player Prime Seedorf was. Who pays for dinner, me or Rio, when we go out? Both, because I don't like having my fucking dinner bought for me by another bloke. On the YouTube scene / ex-pros, who've been the best to go on a night with? Well, Ash, obviously, because, you know, I ended up flying to Berlin because I was bored in Dusseldorf. So I was like, are we having a fucking look at it or what? So, yeah, I mean, me and Ash have had a good couple of fucking long old sessions. We had a good one in Copenhagen. We was there for the United game. We was there the day before. We had about 8 or 9 hours just having a fucking really good convo and just having a lag. I didn't move from one spot, just fucking had a good old chat. What player from any era would I take and put in the current United squad now? R9, because shut up, that's why. Did they have equivalent to Greg's in Berlin? I don't know. Imagine. They do have something called Podolski's, though. And you're like, Podolski? Yeah, Podolski, as in Lucas fucking Podolski. They have Lucas Podolski 10 kebab shops all over the gaff. Like, can't move from them. You fall over in Berlin, you've just run into one of them shops. They're fucking everywhere. If Marcus leaves, I think we'll consider going in for Coleman. No, I think if Marcus leaves, it'll be Ivan Toney that we go for. Le Greg's. Yeah, that's the French one. Shearer's good as well. Shearer's a good lad. And chatty as well. Who would Kobe replace in the 99 team? It would be more of the Scholes in the 99 team. He doesn't replace Scholes in 99, but that would be the role that he would occupy in the 99 team. Do I remember Gerard Piqué training at Hyde United? No, I don't. But I know United... Didn't United used to play there, actually, at Hyde? I know City played there and changed it to Hyde FC because they're so fucking terrified of anything red or the word United. So small time and fucking... I don't know the word I'm looking at. It's just shit in it. It's insecure. What's my favourite music? I hear you love Oasis. Oh, you hear that, dear? Yeah, Oasis and Small Roses. Small Roses, Stone Roses. I just read Small Minded. Stone Roses or Oasis, yeah. Is the Dublin night on this year at Christmas? I don't know. We haven't spoken about it, so I don't know. It's possible. Favorite comedian? Bill Burr, probably. Tom Segura, probably. Dave Chappelle, sorry for being very fucking mainstream with that, but he's unbelievable in it. What do I think of the Fruit Art gear? Well, considering I'm fucking dripping in it, I mean, this top's a Fruit Art top, even though it's not got no badge on it. It's fucking pretty much all I wear, really. It's pretty good. Paddock night out in Liverpool? No. Just no. Is my partner a United fan, or does the football do her head in? Her dad is a Blue. She pretends she's a Blue to wind me up, but she's not. So we asked her to name some players, and I think she's named Yaya Toure 4 times. She don't have a fucking clue about any of them, and she only says that to wind us up. I think she's come round to football a little bit, obviously being involved with the stuff that she does with Paddock, but no, she didn't really like football. And obviously, people are entitled to have partners that like football, regardless of what sex they are. But I quite like having no fucking clue. I couldn't imagine doing the job I do and then coming home and having my wife go, how about that Luke Shaw injury then? Fuck off. Oh, she says she's not come round to it. Well, there you go. Yeah, I found that. Maybe it's because of work. I don't know. Maybe if it was more of a hobby and not my job, maybe it wouldn't be so much of a drama. But with it being my job, I really couldn't think of anything worse than my partner being like a big United fan. Camping in North Wales, try Shell Island. Have a look at that one. Stephen Harris says, had to unblock a shower drain today. Can we stop telling folk to shave their plums in the shower, please? Ant says, see, I'd love that. Yeah, look, I get how some people would like that. Like, me and Janine have hobbies that we go and do together with hiking and outdoors and shit like that, and that's fine. But, and Disco Stew says, yeah, Janine left before Paddock kicked off yesterday. We have stuff that we like to do together, and that's fine. But with it being my job, and obviously every single fucking person I meet wants to talk about football and United, I like having my home where no one says shit about that. Although Blake has just like this fucking week, and I don't know where it's come from, decided that she likes basketball, and we got her a basketball, and she's fucking about with it. So yeah. Does my lad play for Paddock? Yes, he's in the reserves at the moment. Prime Bale or Prime Rooney? Prime Rooney, not even close. Now, does that mean he's better? Not necessarily. It just means I've got more memories with him. Beckham 99 or Ronaldo 08? Ooh. Fucking Beckham 99, I think. Shaq says we got a kit for Blake. No, not yet. We need to order one, actually, don't we, Janine? I think we should get one in quick time with it. Prendo says camping in west of Ireland. Try visiting Westport or County Mayo and travel around there. Do you know what? I do need to do that. I do need to go and fuck off to that Western Ireland and just cut about. I mean, it's a beautiful part of the world, isn't it? The British Isles has got some fucking like genuine screensaver fucking scenery. Stephen says Janine needs her own IRL channel. It's Howson IRL. It's not Stephen Howson IRL. It's Howson IRL. So it's the pair of us. So that's why she's on some of the videos. Is it hard to get sponsors for Paddock? Yes and no. There's a lot of people interested. There's actually a lot of people that we say no to. We had a fan vote not so long ago where we decided that we had certain ethics that we wanted for our sponsors. We didn't want alcohol, gambling, tobacco. We actually got approached by a lot of people in that, which is why I thought it was really important for us to get that vote in and decided. But I want to vet the people that we work with as much as the people that we work with want to vet us, because we are building a junior academy. When I say we've got an under-16s group at the moment, which is really talented. I've got like 5 or 6 under-16s, 15-year-olds training with the first team at the moment. I'm trying to build the best grassroots academy in Manchester. I want people to go, my son or daughter's good at football or getting good at football. Where do I take her to get that development pushed through? And I want them to think of Stretford Paddock. And there's a couple of clubs that have got great reputations at the moment doing really good stuff. Manchester Corinthians is one that I think we could look to emulate, but with our own facility eventually. And because they're a bit nomadic like ourselves. And also Fletcher Moss as well. That Fletcher Moss have got that sort of historical reputation, run on volunteers. For a brick hut in the middle of Didsbury, they do fucking sensational work, and they've got that reputation. You're bringing through the likes of Lingard and I think Welbeck potentially as well as Marcus. We want to have that. And we can do that. I genuinely, wholeheartedly believe we can do that. We've just gone into the mix this year with we've gone into the mix with 2 under-16s teams and 3 under-12s teams this season, and our under-16s team has had so much popularity, and it's like the under-16s coach was hope they did really well last year. It was a really competitive team. This year we wanted to add 1 or 2 players to the first team. We've added like 6 or 7 to the first team, and we might not be done yet. There's more and more players coming all the time, and there's that many people interested in coming playing for us, and we haven't even like kicked off a competitive match as a junior club yet. That there are players dropping down from Premier divisions to come and play for our second team, which I think is in Division 1 or 2, Prem, Championship, Division 1, Division 2. So they're dropping down several leagues to come and play for Paddock, and we don't have a reputation yet, but we've already created a bit of a splash. Give us 3 or 4 years. When we get to the point of having 30, 40, 50 teams, you'll know what we're doing. And I really selfishly want to be, when Kobe Mainu appears in 15 years' time and they go, oh, who did he play for? I don't want it to be Cheadle and Gatley AFC. I want them to say, Stretford Paddock made this player. Because I'm never going to coach at United, but I can still have a fucking impact and make those next generation of players. And that's what I'm going to fucking do. Like, I am going to do that. So, watch this space. It's going to take years, but watch this fucking space. We will do it. Madrid just drew to Mallorca. They're winning the Champions League, so they'll be all right. Janine says the pics look great. Notch, no pyro, no party. Well, there was pyro, and there was also a party. Speak123 says thoughts on a red wall at the new stadium in the plans. Only need Napoli's goal announcer next. I like the stuff that's been coming out from Ineos. They seem to be listening to fans, and they seem to be putting all that sort of shit in the mixer. Claire's in the comments, good evening, says we will get there. It's coming along nicely. Yep, it's going well. It's doing all right. Am I confident we'll get Ugarte done? Yes, I think so. Craig says, wild Atlantic wasty, proper good hiking and camping. Diamond Hill will be piss easy for you, but views from the top are longer quality. Move south from there. Where is that? Is that Ireland? That sounds like Ireland, doesn't it? Leonard says, surely you still have scope to have a career in coaching at a pro level. You're not old and clearly have a brain for it. Finish a job at Paddock and then do it. Well, someone asked me on Instagram, would I go to MLS? And no, I also don't think I'd get that opportunity. And I don't think I would get the opportunity in the pro game in England either. But I wonder if college might be a possibility. And the thing is, the college system in America is fucking more professional than some of the professional over here. I would need to make sure I've got my A license to do that, and potentially even maybe even the pro license. And I probably have to get, certainly not 12 promotions, but I have to get maybe half a dozen. I might have to get Paddock up to like Northern Prem and then consider it. But we will see. We'll see where it goes. I'm enjoying it at the moment. I enjoy the challenge and I enjoy the learning, and I fucking really enjoy seeing it out on the pitch. Like last couple of weeks, yesterday we had 61% possession, but we completed 440 passes or something like that. It's a fucking really good number. Like that stacks up with Premier League team sort of numbers of passes. The 2 weeks before that, it was less passes, it was like 370, 372, but it was 68% possession and 69% possession. Like it's fucking genuinely good, man. We are good with the ball, and the thing is, we get back in the dressing room and we go, lads, that was fucking sloppy. So we know that there's 2 or 3 more gears for us to go to. We saw probably a real good example of it like April last year. It might have been Haydock at home actually, where the passing was just fucking crisp, and we didn't have the VO camera to get the stats from it, but it felt like the best game in possession that we had. Rome wasn't built in a day. No, wasn't. We'll see. We'll see how it gets there. I'm enjoying it. How do I get my 5-year-old to play for your team? We don't have a facility to take them at the moment. We'll see where it comes in. Who does all the stats for Paddock? We do have an analyst called TJ, but we also have a Veo, which we have the analysis package with Veo, so it does it. It does it with AI, so it's interesting seeing. Tony says, as a kid that grew up in Manchester in the 90s, how truly big was the Oasis hype? My old man lived in the Midlands and is a bit older than you, and even he talks about how massive it was in the UK. It didn't feel... it didn't feel like localized Mancunian thing, even though Joe, it probably was. I remember people like fucking singing Oasis songs on the bus, like school bus, not like, you know, the people with fucking on the way to work and that. But it was huge. It was big. It was fucking huge. Yeah, I can remember like I was probably a bit young for like the first 2 albums to really know what was going on in terms of the hype around it. But I remember reading reviews about every song when BA Now came out in, I think it was 97 that came out. Thriller says the Veo camera does stats. How it just gives me the footage. Oh, AI. Yeah, it's the AI. Are we on the Veo 3? We might be on. I think we're on Veo 3, so it does some. I don't fucking know. It does it, so that's all I need to know. All you have to do is you have to make sure you tell it which half you're in and which one you're attacking, and set first half and second half. And after you've got that nailed off, yeah, it does it. It's not perfect. Sometimes it misses a goal, but yeah, it's all right. Cal says, "Can I rock up to your team for a trial?" Nope. We publish when the trials are. If you don't make one of them trials, we'll see you at the next one. Next year, probably. Janine says, the red and black Codebreaker kit is on general sale. Size is small to 3XL if you wanted one. There's about 40 left in stock before the next batch comes in. So there you go. Straight for paddockfc.com and then hit the shop. And then Dave will get it out if he fucking pulls his finger out. I'll get it out to you tomorrow if you get it in there tonight. Stephen Harris says, I did Main Road and Nebworth. Wow, that was our generational seminal moment. Yeah, it's funny listening to Oasis talking about that. Was it 340,000 fucking people that they played to? Just fucking insane. Jason says, do you remember our chat at the Paddock game in Dublin? Postponed my honeymoon to see Paddock. We went to Manchester on a honeymoon and still married. Fantastic. Cal says, on the trial, is there an age range you want? No. Obviously, we have trials for all different teams. Next year, I'm hoping there's like a very comprehensive team, or a very comprehensive list of teams that you can trial for. I'm not asked how old you are. It's whether you're good or not. You know, we have Gav, who's currently out injured, who's 46 years of age, but might have played over 1,000 games of non-league football. And there'll be lads who literally turn 16 the same week that they're making their Paddock debut this year. So Gav will be older than some of their parents. You know, it doesn't matter. It's whether you're good enough or not. 20 Legends said the Alan Turing kit won the contest. Yeah, it did. We've gone red and black. Like, I'm a little bit surprised in all honesty, but we've gone with it and it looks absolutely fantastic. So, yeah. There was a chat I was just about to read on there, but where's it gone? Any rules in the Paddock League that I would like to see in the Prem? I do like roll-on, roll-off subs. I think that works. Yeah, I think roll-on, roll-off subs is quite good. Leonard says, does it bother me that Oasis were City fans? Most famous Mancunians are Blues. No. Well, for starters, they got money and they fucked off to London. So they lived longer in London than they did in Manchester in their entire lives. So for starters, are they? And also, Bonehead is a United fan who's a huge part of Oasis. So I'm not fazed by it at all. Rocksteady says, where can I watch Paddock games online? We're putting out a highlights package, but we changed the highlights package so it'll be sort of mini documentary a little bit more, so make them a little bit more watchable than just the sort of highlights of the match. But the full 90 minutes live with our legendary commentator Liam are on Twitch. You can watch them for free on Twitch, chat with all the other members, chat with people who are at the stadium, and come and watch them on Twitch. And they've been about 1,000 or so people been watching them, so it's been good. You can tune in for those. Matthew says, I'd do anything to live in Manchester and do anything not to live in London. London must be hard work, mate, for sure. Have I seen the Tony announcement? What announcement? Let me just pull up Twitter. See what has just happened, if anything has happened. Can't see anything. Oh, Al-Ahly remain in talks to sign Ivan Toney after £35 million bid was rejected by Brentford. Talks still ongoing for the player and the club. Tony waiting for Tony and his family's decision. All right. I guess that's the announcement. Rocksteady says Twitch it is, Soundsty. Yeah, it works well on Twitch. Hopefully we can improve and add layers to what we're doing with the stream and that, but it's fucking really good at the moment and very happy with it. What's a little known nugget of info about Manchester that everybody should know but doesn't? The reading of the Riot Act happened on August the, I want to say 12th. Let me just fucking Google it. '16th, bastard! Right, August the 16th, 1819. The reading of the Riot Act was read on, I can't remember what the steps of, I think it might have been the town hall in Manchester, because of riots happening where people were demanding not just the suffragette movement, but also people demanding the right for fair representation for people in Parliament. People had walked for days to come and demonstrate, and the local yeomanry cut down people and murdered people. There was, I think it's like fucking 17 or 19 people killed, something along those lines. There's too many 18s and 19s in the mix with it. But basically, yeah, there's tons of political rallies that was going on and people fought for the fucking right to be listened to. And the reading of the Riot Act was because of what happened on that fucking day. Peterloo Massacre. Right around the GMEX and Central Library kind of area in Manchester. So people should know way more about that. What's very interesting is, and this is an article that was in United We Stand fucking 25 years ago, it must have been. What's interesting is that yeomanry, that cavalry that marched and cut down the fucking unarmed civilians, rode from a stables that was at the back of GMEX. And on a match day, Greater Manchester Police form up on horseback, form up in the exact same place, which is very fucking interesting. Karl Marx buried in Manchester. I didn't know he was buried in Manchester, but he does have a statue in Manchester, and there's also a place where, is it Engels and Marx had their own sort of spot in Chetham's Library in Manchester as well. Jamie says, thoughts on the media wankfest over City stats and numbers when there is one particular big number that they're omitting. I think they'll get done. I don't think they'll get done properly, but I think they'll get done. And we'll see. Avishek says, the Paddock match highlights not being shown on YouTube for the new season. No, sort of touched on that a second ago. No, we're trying to make them into like a mini documentary for each one rather than just post out the highlights because the numbers weren't doing well. So we're trying to find what works right for the audience. But you can watch them all live on Twitch. Notch says, Marx also spent time in Ramsgate. Interesting. Buffy says, Mancunians are the funniest folk you're ever likely to meet. Have I read up on the mass trespass that led to the national parks? Manx on Kinder should ring a bell. Yes, so I believe that was on Kinder, yeah. The mass trespass to go to force through the right to roam. I should probably do something on that on the IRL channel because I think that's very important actually. Brian says, fun fact for anyone that's interested in where I'm from, the Irish tricolour was first flown here in Waterford in 1848. What was the Irish flag before that? Was it a green flag with a harp? Or have I just fucking totally made that up? The Esco says, evening Steve, Sancho more likely to join Juve or PSG? I don't know. There was some talk that PSG were in for him, but like I said the other day, I also recorded a video about Marcus agreeing terms to go to PSG, and I haven't posted it, so make of that what you will. What does Snapdragon do? It's a phone, innit? Wesley says Manchester has strong connections to Ireland. Yeah, as I say quite a lot, man, this city was built on the back of very, very strong for hundreds of years Irish immigration, and then latterly in the second half of the 20th century on Caribbean immigration. And the influences on Manchester as a city, when you see how, even like from Stone Roses to Oasis, like their particular style, whether it's, you know, the Adidas Sambas or Clarks or whatever it is, there's a very Irish and Jamaican heritage within Manchester, which has made the city, you know, what it is, really. Oh, I was right. Green flag with a heart. Fucking hell, check me out. Don't even know why I knew that. Oh, they make processors for phones. All right. So who the fucking hell cares? Like, oh, it's a mad one, isn't it? Shaney says there's a lot of people getting prematurely angry at being linked with Sander Berg, which annoys me because he'd been linked in the past with Liverpool, City, and Bayern. He's also been relegated twice, and I think that's what people decide to focus on, and that's absolutely what people will be focusing on if he signs for Manchester United. We know it. Notch says, my favourite Manchester secret is Pigeon Corn Supplies. That's who the real sponsor of Stretford Paddock should be. It's not there anymore. I drove past there the other day, and now it just looks like someone's converted it into a house or some shit like that. I'm not sure. How has running Paddock helped me improve my game understanding? Well, it makes you realise that it doesn't matter if you show the players, go, I want you to play like this, and they go, cool. We're going to need 6 months of training sessions to start getting that. But you also you can see things quite quickly, and you can also see things that just, one, they're impossible to do, or two, they take so fucking long to impart into the team. Also made me understand a little bit on how, you know, no dickheads. Like, one dickhead can completely fucking spoil it. Mentality is so much more important. Everyone's going to be good. Certainly, not necessarily true at our level, but at the Manchester United level, everyone's going to be unbelievable. And those fine margins, I think, are far more mental than they are technical. Notch says, I saw it was gone when I was there. Yeah, you would have come past it on the tram, I imagine, on the way to Droylsden. Yeah. How they made money, I don't know. Was it a front for something, or was it literally selling pigeon corn supplies? Fuck knows. V says, anyone know I can find decent Jamaican takeaway in Manchester? Mate, are you fucking serious? Listen, you need Dougie's or Buzz Rocks, and you don't need anywhere else. I mean, there's some good ones in the mix. Jerk Junction's another one. Jerk Junction, which is becoming a bit of a chain, actually. They're doing really well. Buzz Rocks have got a couple of shops. Or Dougie's. And if you've fucking sampled all of those and you still need some, there's one called Cool Runnings with a K, which you can check out. But, like, you can't really get shit... you can't really get shit Jamaican food in Manchester. I mean, I'm sure you can. But, yeah. How did I gain the in-depth football tactical knowledge? I just read. I'm a fucking nerd about this shit. I think there's a very important stage in anybody learning anything, right? Whether that's whatever it is you choose to do. I think there's a point where you have to become a little bit obsessed. Probably an annoying with it as well, actually. And it's just one of those that you got to go through the stage of becoming obsessed about it. And I think that's really a really, really important stage. If you're not obsessed, you're going to be overtaken by people who are obsessed. Have I been to Popeyes in Piccadilly? Nah. The only sort of chain that was really fucking good in Piccadilly was actually Everett that took me there. It was called Rice. It was in Piccadilly Gardens. It looked like a fucking crack den. And it did like a Malaysian chicken and rice, and it blew your bollocks off. It was so fucking hot, but it was absolutely sensational. And then it just randomly disappeared. And then it reopened again on Piccadilly Approach, and it fucking disappeared again. Do I see data analytics as an important as an important tool in football at Paddock FC level? So we get hit up by a lot of people who say, oh, can we come and do some stuff for Paddock? I do like data science or this, that, and the other. We don't have enough data for you to crunch. Like, maybe Manchester United do. Maybe they're getting like 1,000 sort of statistical data that they're gonna want you to feed. I don't get opposition data. I don't get opposition tape. Like, I get fucking nothing. So we're looking at like, one really small sample of like 12 different fucking metrics, and that is it that we're working on. So there's not really anything data science could do for us. So I have a tactical analysis, an analyst. We have conversations about what we think we're doing right, what we think we're doing wrong, but we're both relative fucking amateurs about it. You know, we're both trying to learn it, and we're both just two fucking dweebs who like obsess about this sort of stuff. But I would say if you go and watch the Paddock games, or search Trafford Paddock FC on Twitch right now, you can go and watch the 90 minutes, probably from our last two games, because they're on there about a week. And you tell me, can you see the style of play in us? And then figure it out. Nave says, is Adidas overtaking Nike? If I had to guess, I think Adidas is already bigger than Nike. Let me have a look. Adidas versus Nike. Let's say global revenue. Here we go. Adidas, Nike, and Puma revenue comparisons 2006 to 2023. Oh no, Nike is twice what Adidas is. Oh, hands up. I didn't know that. I thought Adidas was bigger. There you go. William says, do Premier League footballers do gear? I would think for sure. James says, do we have a proper player management system at Paddock, or is everything run on a spreadsheet? Everything is run on a spreadsheet. And by player management, I put a green tick or a red X in a box about who's coming to training. And I have a register of who's attended training, and that's about it. Nikolai says, I remember you speaking on Menu having futsal experience, so I thought about implementing futsal at Paddock. Again, it's just facilities. Ultimately, if we ever get our own gaff, I would love a futsal arena in there if there's the space, because I think it's a fantastic tool for developing certain kind of not just techniques, but like certain sort of angles that appear in football and rotations and all that sort of shit. How do I think Robbie Savage will do being manager of Macclesfield? So, yeah, for those who don't know, he got rid of, or did he move on? So, Alex Bruce was there very temporarily, and then I think Alex went to Salford. And then I think he got a guy in called Mike Clegg, not the Mike Clegg that was at United, and then I don't know the reason why, but he moved on. And then he's made himself manager. I believe he's won his first two games 1-0. I don't know if he played yesterday. The first two games, I think he won 1-0, but I don't know how that happened. Sheriff says it must be tiring running a club. It's a full-time job on top of the other two full-time jobs that I have. How do we manage to pay staff and balance the books? Well, there's only a couple of staff. Dave Pritt as secretary and kitman. We have one producer that's part-time, and then we have soon to be one more member of staff joining. But all three part-time, and that's it. The outgoings are majorly facilities and kit is the big outgoings. Do I reckon Leisha can play left back with Euro Delit centre back partnerships? I reckon he can, but I don't reckon he would like it. I think it'd be better if he was centre half. Would I consider a stat tracker thing for Paddock players, or would it be overkill? We had player data, and then somebody left them on a fucking team coach, and then we no longer have player data. But yeah, they were. It was good to see. I don't necessarily think it's as important as it would be for a pro club, but I could see them being very useful. Yeah. John Officer says, I had a night out with David May once in Rochdale. He is a weapon and not in a good way. There's a lot of people who've got that opinion. Sean says, I feel the Butcher will be left back this season. I don't think so. I don't think he will. I think he'll probably play there more than he wants to, but I think he'll be centre half mostly as well. Luke says, at amateur level, can you overcoach and imply too many tactics? I think you can, yeah. And I probably have done in the past as well, and I probably will do in the future. But like, I mean, I know the sort of tactical package that we give the players is fairly comprehensive, but I also know that it's also fairly simple as well. And I know this because there's international managers that I've spoken about it with, and shown them what I give the players, and they go, yeah, this is fucking good. V says, are there any voluntary positions available? I would relish a chance to enhance my CV. Money isn't everything, but knowledge is. Well, in what capacity, mate? Who do we play at centre back when Euro gets back? Well, we've got 3 for 2. So if someone's not quite fit, I think you see some stuff moving around. We'll have to see how it goes, won't it? Disco Stu says, plenty of members getting involved at the club now too. Yep, Stu's doing a programme. We've got Shippers, he's writing a match reports, and I think that's what makes us a strong fucking community, man. So it's one of those. Brian says, hearing Leisha speak after the game on Friday reaffirmed my belief that he will be the next United captain, proper leader mentality. Yep, I love him. Has Paddock ever come close to signing an ex-United player? Our current captain's an ex-United player. Our captain Eddie was in the same United side as Scott McTominay, actually, and he's still part of the academy alumni sort of system where they get they still get looked after and stuff like that after the fact that they've left. So yeah, no, there's that. In terms of someone who actually played first team football, well, let's wait and see what happens, eh? Sean says, saw that cracking goal on Paddock Instagram. Yeah. How do I perceive our overall game approach against Fulham? I thought it was really good. I thought we improved on the transitions a little bit. Still not perfect, but we've improved on them versus last season. We certainly improved on them versus Fulham directly. We held the ball in real nice areas. We held the ball in real nice shapes. There was wide triangles and rotations going on. What we lacked was goals down the middle. And why do we lack that? Well, you got your new centre forward, even if he's like, a bit of a second striker. He's on the bench. He's not fit. And Højlund didn't play. So you was playing a little bit of a heavy midfield team, but it's one of those, isn't it? Oh yeah, shit, Nick. Sorry. Yeah. Nick Culkin is our backup goalkeeper or third choice goalkeeper. And he played for United, obviously. Fucking hell, sorry. Yeah, of course we have Nick Culkin. My bad. Sorry, Nick. Am I nervous for the Liverpool game after seeing him this weekend? No. I'm nervous all the time anyway. But, one of them. How promising do I think Zirks is after his first performance? I wasn't blown away, to be honest. I need to see a bit more of him in a United shirt. Certainly not to the level I was with Mazraoui, where I was very, very happy with what he delivered, for sure. Peter Carroll says that'd be a fascinating documentary tracking players after they get let go and how the clubs look after them if they do. Yeah. It's whether players, as they're getting the fucking bullet, be like, hi, ignore the documentary crew, but actually don't, because they're going to follow you in your next journey. My next journey? Yeah, when you get binned. When I get binned? Oh shit, yeah, I don't. And I can imagine the players not really be down for that sort of stuff. Janine says it's because Florin is killing it. You forgot about it. We've had 2 clean sheets in the last 2 weeks, and we've played really good football, and somehow the keeper has come out of that very close to man of the match, an actual man of the match in those. It's one of them, innit? It's fucking, yeah, he's very good. He's a good keeper. Mazraoui looked like he'd been playing for us for years, says V. Yeah, I was very impressed with him. Very impressed with him. Sean says United's counter-attack looked good against Fulham. Hopefully Rashford will just bury those chances. Brian says, didn't Scholes do a documentary where he caught up with the other lads from the class of 92? Oh, I haven't seen that. That would be interesting. How am I seeing Mount's contributions last 2 games against Fulham and City? I think he's got a time that he will play. Would I ever take Ashley Young at Paddock? No. And that's not because he's not good enough. Because, listen, anyone who's played in the Premier League we've only had players that come. So we have some players that come down, and they if they play top end of non-league, they're fucking incredible footballers. Like, I really, 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 really want to see like a current Premier League forward come down and show the level of technical ability that they've got, because I can't imagine it's even fathomable when you see what a good non-league player looks like. I'm not talking about lads who play for me now, but I'm talking about people who are at the top end of non-league are fucking really, really good footballers. I've been lucky enough to be pitch side while United have trained. It's not quite the same as being like when I coach, I get right in the middle of the pitch. When we do like our 11v11s, I occupy like a referee's kind of position, not to ref the game, because I really do not ref a game. My lads kick the fuck out of each other in training, because I will only blow up for something if they claim for it, and the lads get pretty pissed off with that, but I'm not going to change. I like to see what they're seeing, so then I can have a go at them. If I see it and they didn't fucking see it, I can have a go at them. But I don't really stand off to the side when I'm coaching. I try and get right in the fucking mix and get in the middle of it. I obviously haven't had that sort of perspective with United, but even standing off to the side, the fucking level that's like, people that you don't even think are that good are unreal. The speed and the reaction times of stuff and just the sharpness of stuff is so fucking impressive. It's so fucking impressive. And this is a shit United team by like everybody's metrics, innit? So when you see a real technical player up close, you just go, wow. And I would love to see what that, like a Marcus Rashford, who's like out of form, not confident at the moment, would come and look like the fucking greatest player on earth alongside, my lads and that, innit? Prendo says, imagine we had Mount instead of McTominay during Ollie's team. A midfielder that shows for the ball and presses alongside that era Bruno. Different team altogether. Yeah, could have been. Do I see Eriksen playing at all this year? I think he'll leave. I don't think we'll ask for a lot of money for him. I don't think we'll ask for a lot of money for him at all. And I think it'd be a very easy transfer. Could I see a friendly between Paddock and one of the United youth teams one day? Yes. I absolutely can, yeah. Maybe within the next 12 months. Maybe not the first team, maybe one of our youth teams. Our youth teams just played Salford and FC United, our under 16s, so I'm absolutely sure we can get a United one done. Let's see how they do this year. If they win the fucking lot this year, which I'm hopeful that they can do. Not just hopeful that they can do, I actually think I wouldn't put pressure on youth players to win something, but I think our youth team is that good that they really should be winning something. So we'll see. We'll see how they go. See how they get on. Right, before I go, and I'm just about to pop off, but cheers to everyone for hanging out. Do us a favour. It helps in the algorithm. If you want to know a little bit more about the characters and that we're building, and go and see the goalkeeper that we've just signed, because he's an absolute fruitcake. But head over to the Stretford Paddock FC channel. We dropped part 2 of our Civica Commando weekend. Please go and have a watch of it. Please get involved in the comments. It genuinely really helps. And some people message and say, look, I can't afford to become a member. What can I do? This is what you can do. Helping us just get some views on that video, it will be really important. And also help the guys from Civica Commando out as well. If no matter where you work, whether your company, like the fucking IT company that you work for, you think you couldn't do something with the guys from Civica Commando, you're wrong. I saw what they did for a football team, and that's the first team, the football team that they've actually done anything for. I think it might even be the first sports team that they've done anything for. They work with corporate people. They work with schools. Go and check out what we did with them and what our lads learned and how fucking good it was. Go check it out. I think you'll enjoy the video. I think you'll enjoy seeing the character development in the lads and how hard they work. I'll give you a clue. The first 2 minutes, we go and wake the lads up with flashbangs and we drag them out with their sleeping bags at midnight and we fucking smash them with press-ups and sit-ups, and they're sprayed with water the whole time. It is a fucking brutal, brutal wake-up after they've just had one of the hardest days that most of those lads will ever have had. They've done river crossings, they've done unarmed combat, they've done ambush lanes, they've had to tab. Like, we've absolutely fucking smashed them. and then we drag them out of bed and do all the rest of that to them. So please head over to Stretford Paddock FC YouTube channel right now. So it's like a 25-minute episode, but I think you'll really, really enjoy it. And I'll really appreciate it if you do. But cheers for tuning in as always. Hit subscribe if you're new here, but go and check out that video. And I'll be back tomorrow with breaking down what's going on with all the different transfers and maybe even looking at some options in case we don't get our plan A's. But take it easy, everyone, and I'll see you in the next one. Laters. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, five-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.